Good evening, and welcome to the Sleeping Zoo. Facts to fall asleep to. To understand the creature that modern science calls the spotted hyena, one must first dismantle the visual intuition that suggests they are simply a primitive or specialized form of wild dog. The silhouette of the hyena, with its sloping back, powerful forequarters, and long canine-like snout, is one of nature's most successful examples of convergent evolution, where unrelated species develop similar traits to solve identical environmental challenges. However, the genetic truth tells a story that is far more feline than canine. The hyena belongs to the suborder Feliformia, placing it on the same broad branch of the evolutionary tree as cats, mongooses, and civets. Their ancestors diverged from the cat-like lineage roughly 30 million years ago, carving out a unique niche that eventually saw them abandon the arboreal or stalking lifestyles of their cousins to become the dominant cursors or running hunters of the open plains. The evolutionary paradox of the hyena is rooted in the Miocene epoch, a time when the world was shifting from dense forests to expansive grasslands. During this period, the Hyenidae family split into two distinct functional groups. One branch, often referred to as the dog-like hyenas, mirrored the physical build and hunting style of modern wolves and foxes. They were lithe, agile, and built for the long-distance pursuit of small to medium-sized prey. However, as climate shifts favored larger, more robust herbivores, a second branch emerged characterized by a radically different cranial architecture. These were the bone-cracking hyenas. While the dog-like hyenas eventually succumbed to competition from the rising family of true canines, the bone crackers thrived by developing a physical toolkit that no other predator could match. They became the ultimate recyclers of the prehistoric world, capable of extracting nutrients from the skeletal remains that every other carnivore left behind. Within the four surviving species of the Hyenidae family, we see the remnants of this diverse history. The aardwolf stands as a living relic of the earlier, insectivorous ancestors, having traded the bone-cracking jaws of its cousins for a specialized tongue and a diet consisting almost exclusively of harvester termites. It is a peaceful outlier in a family otherwise defined by predatory power. The striped hyena and the brown hyena represent a middle ground, primarily scavengers that retain the massive skull and teeth of the bone-cracking lineage, but lack the social complexity and aggressive hunting drive of their more famous relative. It is the spotted hyena, Crocuta, that serves as the pinnacle of this evolutionary journey. It is the largest, most social, and most physically formidable of the group, possessing a physiology that is as much a feat of engineering as it is a product of biology. To look closely at the skull of a spotted hyena is to witness a masterpiece of structural physics designed for the application of extreme pressure. The most prominent feature is the sagittal crest, a high ridge of bone running along the top of the skull that serves as the anchor point for the massive temporalis muscles. These muscles are so large that they fill the space behind the eyes, giving the hyena its characteristically broad and powerful head. When these muscles contract, they generate a bite force that has been measured at over 1,100 pounds per square inch. This is not merely for killing prey, but for the systematic deconstruction of a carcass. Where a lion or a leopard might strip the meat and leave the skeleton, the spotted hyena consumes the entirety of the animal. Their premolars are specifically shaped like cones to distribute the stress of crushing hard objects, allowing them to shatter the femur of a giraffe or the thick hide of a buffalo with unsettling ease. This ability to process bone is not limited to the jaws. It extends into a highly specialized digestive system. The stomach of a spotted hyena is a chemical furnace, producing gastric juices with an acidity so high that it can dissolve mineralized bone, horns, and even inorganic matter. This allows the hyena to access the calorie-rich marrow and calcium that other predators simply cannot digest. This efficiency is visible in the wild, in the form of their distinct white droppings, which are composed almost entirely of processed calcium. By consuming the parts of the kill that others discard, the hyena occupies a position in the ecosystem that is both a predator and a janitor, ensuring that the nutrients within a carcass are fully cycled back into the environment. The physical build of the spotted hyena is often described as awkward, but this is a misunderstanding of their specialized locomotion. Their front legs are significantly longer and more robust than their hind legs, creating a sloping posture that is actually an adaptation for long-distance efficiency, rather than short burst speed. While a cheetah is built for the sprint, the hyena is built for the siege. They can maintain a steady loping pace for miles, gradually wearing down their prey through sheer persistence. Their heart is exceptionally large relative to their body size, providing the cardiovascular endurance needed to outlast animals that are technically faster but lack the hyena's stamina. This heart, combined with a thick neck and heavy shoulders, allows them to drag carcasses weighing hundreds of pounds away from competitors, moving with a strength that belies their size. Beyond the mechanics of the hunt and the feast, the true complexity of the spotted hyena lies in their cognitive and social structures. For decades, they were dismissed as mindless scavengers, but modern field research has revealed that their intelligence and social navigation are on par with, and in some cases exceed, those of many non-human primates. They live in massive social units known as clans, which can number up to 80 or even 100 individuals. These are not loose aggregations, but highly organized societies governed by a strict linear dominance hierarchy. In the world of the spotted hyena, the female is the undisputed ruler. This matriarchy is absolute. The highest-ranking male in a clan is almost always subordinate to the lowest-ranking female. The origin of this female dominance is one of the great fascinations of mammalian biology. It is driven in part by the fact that female spotted hyenas are larger, more aggressive, and more socially cohesive than the males. This dominance is established and reinforced through a complex system of social signaling and inheritance. Unlike most social carnivores, where rank is fought for and won through physical combat, a female spotted hyena's position is largely determined by her birth. A daughter inherits the rank immediately below her mother, a phenomenon known as maternal rank inheritance. This creates stable lineages of power that can persist for generations. From the moment a cub is born into a high-ranking lineage, it is treated with a level of deference and afforded access to resources that a lower-ranking cub will never know. This hierarchy is maintained through a constant stream of social interactions that serve to reinforce the status quo. Higher-ranking females will use their status to control access to kills, ensuring that they and their offspring are the first to feed. This has profound implications for the survival and growth of the cubs. A high-ranking mother can produce milk that is higher in fat and protein because she is better fed, and her presence at the den protects her young from the social bullying of other clan members. The result is a system where success is self-perpetuating. The daughters of high-ranking matriarchs grow faster, survive longer, and enter the breeding population earlier, cementing their family's hold on the clan's leadership. For the males, life is a starkly different experience. Upon reaching sexual maturity, most male spotted hyenas are forced to leave their natal clan and embark on a perilous journey to find a new group. This dispersal is a critical mechanism for preventing inbreeding, but it places the immigrant male at the very bottom of the social ladder in his new home. To be accepted into a new clan, a male must undergo a period of social testing that can last for months. He must be submissive to every female, and even to the juveniles. He must wait at the periphery of kills, often eating only the scraps that remain after the females have finished. His only path to success is through patience and the formation of social bonds, as he slowly works his way up the male hierarchy through the attrition of those above him. It is a life of constant negotiation and deference, a mirror image of the male-dominated structures seen in most other mammalian predators. The interaction between these ranks and the physical environment is mediated by a sophisticated communication network. The famous laugh of the spotted hyena, which sounds so eerily human to our ears, is in fact a highly nuanced signal of social status and frustration. Scientifically known as the giggle, this vocalization is typically produced when a hyena is being harassed or when there is intense competition at a kill. The pitch and frequency of the giggle can convey the age and social standing of the individual, providing others in the dark or in the chaos of a hunt with a clear picture of who is present and what their state of mind is. It is just one part of a vast repertoire of sounds, from the haunting low-frequency whoop that can carry for miles across the savanna to the soft groans used between a mother and her cubs. Each sound is a thread in the social fabric that keeps the clan together. The biological reality of the female spotted hyena is perhaps the most radical departure from mammalian norms in the entire natural world. To the casual observer, distinguishing between a male and a female in the field is nearly impossible because the female possesses a highly modified clitoris that is indistinguishable in outward appearance from the male's penis. This structure, often referred to as a pseudopenis or peniform clitoris, is capable of erection and is the conduit through which the female urinates, mates, and gives birth. Internally, the female lacks a dynamic vaginal opening. Instead, the birth canal is fused, and the urogenital tract passes through this elongated, narrow organ. This anatomy is not merely a cosmetic oddity, but a central pillar of the species' social and hormonal evolution. Tied directly to the high levels of androgens, specifically testosterone and androstenedione, that circulate in the female system during pregnancy. This hormonal environment begins to shape the cubs long before they are born. During gestation, the placenta allows high concentrations of maternal androgens to reach the developing fetuses. This prenatal androgenization serves a vital purpose. It prepares the cubs for a life governed by extreme competition and aggression. In a clan where your position at a kill determines your survival, being born ready to fight is a distinct evolutionary advantage. However, this advantage comes at a staggering physical cost to the mother. The birth process for a spotted hyena is among the most perilous in the animal kingdom. The first time, mother must force a 2-pound cub through a narrow, inelastic birth canal that makes a sharp turn around the pelvic bone before exiting through the tip of the pseudopenis. The internal tissues of the organ frequently tear during this process, and for many young females, the first birth is fatal. Even if the mother survives, the risk of the cub suffocating within the long birth canal is high, leading to a significant rate of stillbirth among premiparous females. For those cubs that do survive the trauma of birth, the struggle for dominance begins almost immediately. Spotted hyenas are born with their eyes open, their teeth fully erupted, and a level of motor coordination that is unheard of in other carnivores. Within minutes of emerging, same-sex littermates may begin a brutal struggle for dominance known as neonatal siblicide. In the dark confines of the natal den where the mother is too large to intervene, the cubs will use their sharp incisors and canines to attack one another. They aim for the neck and shoulders, shaking their sibling with a ferocity that belies their tiny size. In cases of intense competition, particularly when food resources are scarce, this aggression results in the death of one sibling. This is not mindless cruelty, but a calculated biological gamble. By eliminating a competitor, the surviving cub ensures it has exclusive access to its mother's highly nutritious milk, doubling its growth rate and vastly increasing its chances of surviving to adulthood. This milk is the cornerstone of the hyena's early development. Spotted hyena milk has the highest protein content of any terrestrial carnivore, and a fat content second only to that of some marine mammals. Because a mother may need to travel long distances to hunt or scavenge, she may be away from the den for several days. This exceptionally rich milk allows the cubs to go for long periods without feeding, providing them with the sustained energy needed to maintain their rapid growth. The nursing period for a spotted hyena is also unusually long, often lasting up to 18 months. During this time, the cubs are slowly introduced to the social life of the clan, learning the complex who's who of the hierarchy through observation and participation in the greeting ceremonies that define hyena sociality. The greeting ceremony is a remarkable display of trust and submission that centers on the very anatomy that makes the species so unique. When two clan members meet after a period of separation, they stand head to tail and lift a hind leg, inviting the other to sniff and lick their erect genitals. In the high-stakes world of the clan, where a single bite can be lethal, this position of extreme vulnerability serves as a social glue. It reinforces bonds and signals peaceful intentions. For a subordinate male or a lower-ranking female, the willingness to engage in this greeting is a vital sign of deference to a superior. It is a physical manifestation of the hierarchy, a moment where the biological and the social intersect to maintain the stability of the group. While the visual signals of the greeting ceremony are important, the auditory world of the hyena is where their social complexity truly shines. The vocal repertoire of the spotted hyena is one of the most sophisticated, among non-primate mammals, consisting of over a dozen distinct sounds that serve different communicative functions. The most iconic of these is the whoop. This long-distance call begins as a low-pitched groan and rises into a high-pitched haunting wail that can be heard up to 3 miles away. Each whoop is individualistically distinct. A hyena can recognize the specific voice of every other member of its clan. Whoops are used to rally the group for a hunt, to defend territory against rival clans, or by a mother searching for her cubs. When a clan gathers and whoops in unison, the sound is a powerful display of collective strength that can intimidate even a pride of lions. Contrasting with the powerful whoop is the infamous giggle, a sound that has led to centuries of human misunderstanding. To our ears, it sounds like hysterical human laughter, but to a hyena, it is a signal of high arousal, frustration, or social uncertainty. It is most frequently heard during a kill when multiple hyenas are competing for access to the carcass. A subordinate individual who is being pushed away from the meat by a higher-ranking female will giggle to signal its state of mind. Researchers have found that the acoustic features of the giggle, such as its pitch and the regularity of the notes, encode information about the age and status of the caller. This allows other hyenas in the vicinity to assess the social dynamics of the scene without having to look directly at the participants, a crucial advantage in the dark or in the middle of a chaotic feeding frenzy. The vocal landscape also includes the fast groan, a sound used during the greeting ceremony, and the soft squeak or whine used by cubs to solicit milk or attention from their mothers. There is also the alarm growl, a deep, vibrating sound that warns the clan of approaching danger, such as a lion or a human. Each of these sounds is part of a continuous stream of information that flows through the clan, allowing for a level of coordination that is essential for a species that must often act as a single unit to bring down large prey or defend its kills. This acoustic intelligence is a reflection of the hyena's brain, which features an enlarged frontal cortex. This area of the brain is associated with social cognition and decision-making, and in the spotted hyena, it is proportionally larger than in other carnivores, suggesting that the demands of living in such a complex matriarchal society have driven the evolution of their intelligence. This intelligence is perhaps most visible during a hunt. While the image of the hyena as a mere scavenger persists, studies have shown that in many ecosystems, spotted hyenas kill as much as 95% of the food they eat. They are apex predators that use sophisticated group tactics to bring down animals much larger than themselves, including zebra, wildebeest, and even young elephants. During a hunt, the clan displays a level of cooperation that rivals that of wolves or chimpanzees. They can assess the vulnerability of a herd, pick out a target, and coordinate their movements to cut it off from the group. They do not rely on the silent ambush of the cat. They use their endurance to run their prey into the ground, a strategy that requires constant communication and a shared understanding of the goal. The kill itself is a scene of incredible intensity, as the hyena's specialized anatomy allows it to consume the entire animal in a matter of minutes, leaving nothing but a blood-stained patch of earth behind. While the vocalizations of the spotted hyena dominate the nocturnal airwaves, a silent, chemical dialogue is constantly unfolding beneath the notice of the human nose. This is the world of hyena butter, a thick, pungent secretion produced by the anal glands. Both males and females engage in pasting, a behavior where they straddle a stalk of tall grass and deposit a smear of this yellowish-white paste. To a hyena, a single deposit of butter is a high-density data packet. It reveals the individual's identity, its sex, its reproductive status, and exactly how long ago it passed through the area. This scent, marking, creates a chemical map of the clan's territory, a series of olfactory signposts that warn intruders and reassure allies. The complexity of this butter is a result of a symbiotic relationship with specialized bacteria living within the scent glands, a microbial factory that produces the unique volatile fatty acids that give each hyena its signature scent. This territoriality is not merely a matter of pride. It is a necessity for survival in a landscape where the hyena's greatest rival is always watching. The relationship between the spotted hyena and the African lion is often described as a great war, a perpetual state of interspecific competition that has shaped the evolution of both species. This is not the simple predator-prey dynamic seen elsewhere. It is a battle between two apex titans for the same niche. Lions and hyenas share over 80% of their diet, and they frequently steal kills from one another in a process known as kleptoparasitism. While a single lion can easily overpower a single hyena, the strength of the hyena lies in the power of the clan. A group of 20 hyenas can successfully mob a lioness and force her off a carcass. However, the arrival of a male lion, which is nearly double the size of a female and possessing a mane that protects his throat, can instantly turn the tide. Male lions have been known to track and kill the matriarch of a hyena clan with surgical precision, recognizing that by removing the head of the social serpent, they can destabilize the entire group. This rivalry is etched into the fossil record. During the Pleistocene, the ancestors of the modern spotted hyena, such as the cave hyena, roamed across Europe and Asia. These massive predators, significantly larger than their modern counterparts, were the primary competitors of early humans and Neanderthals for the safety of caves and the abundance of megafauna like woolly mammoths and rhinos. Archaeological sites often reveal a yo-yo effect of occupation. Layers of human artifacts, followed by layers of hyena coprolites and gnawed bones. The cave hyena was a formidable presence that likely influenced the migration patterns and defensive strategies of our ancestors. The extinction of the cave hyena at the end of the last ice age, likely due to climate change and the loss of its prey base, left the spotted hyena of Africa as the last great representative of this bone-crushing lineage. This deep time connection has manifested in human culture as a mixture of terror and awe. In many African cultures, the hyena is a creature of the liminal spaces, such as the boundary between the living and the dead. In the folklore of the Manda people of Mali, the hyena is associated with the first humans and represents the raw, untamed aspects of the psyche. In other regions, tales of were hyenas or Buddha described sorcerers who can shift their shape into that of a hyena at night to feast on the flesh of the living. This association with the macabre is reinforced by the hyena's role as a scavenger that can consume every part of a corpse, including the bones, leaving no trace behind. To the ancient mind, the hyena was a biological eraser, a creature that could remove the physical evidence of death itself. Yet, in certain corners of the world, this ancient enmity has transformed into a surreal form of coexistence. In the walled city of Harar, Ethiopia, a tradition has existed for centuries where hyena men feed the local clans by hand. What began as a way to keep the predators from attacking livestock during times of famine has become a nightly ritual. The hyenas of Harar have learned to recognize the calls of specific men, emerging from the shadows of the city walls to take scraps of meat from a stick held in a human mouth. This is not domestication. These are wild animals that return to the surrounding hills at dawn. It is a fragile peace, a living demonstration that even the most feared predator in the world can find a place within the human landscape if there is mutual respect and a reliable source of food. The spotted hyena is a creature that defies every easy categorization we attempt to impose upon it. It is a matriarch that rules through a combination of hormonal aggression and sophisticated social bonding. It is a predator that is also a highly efficient scavenger, a cleaner of the ecosystem that prevents the spread of disease by consuming carcasses that would otherwise rot. It is a biological marvel with a digestive system that can dissolve bone and an immune system that is virtually impervious to anthrax and rabies. As the sun sets over the savanna, the first whoops begin to echo through the acacia trees. The clan is waking, the cubs are emerging from the safety of the den, and the matriarch is preparing for the night's hunt. We may never fully love the hyena, but we must respect it. It is a mirror of our own social complexities, a species defined by cooperation, intelligence, and a relentless drive to survive in a world that has often tried to write it off as a villain. In the great theater of evolution, the spotted hyena is not a supporting actor. It is a lead performer, a master of the African night that has survived the ages by being smarter, tougher, and more adaptable than anything else on the plains. The laugh of the hyena is not a joke. It is a testament to the enduring power of life in its most radical, bone-crushing, and extraordinary form. Thank you and good night.